Hello to you all. Okay. No, I don't have a presentation.
Oh, no.
No, the fact is there is the real reason why I don't have presentation, and the reason I can tell you. The reason, of course, I'm joking. The real reason is there's nothing for me to actually show you, and if I have presentation, you're going to look at the screen and not paying attention to what I have to say. And that is what I want. I want you to pay attention to what I have to say to you. I'm going to talk to you about Facebook profit funnel. Well, how can you actually use Facebook to sell your own products? How many of you use Facebook to drive traffic to your store and to make sales? How many? Okay. Okay, I expected more hands. Okay. Never mind. So how many of you use the ads this way? You have an ad and you run it directly to your sales page or your product page. Okay? That is, unfortunately, the wrong way. So you can't take some traffic from Facebook ad and drive it directly to your product page. That is wrong. You're going to see some conversions, but you're not going to see that much conversions, that much sales that you maybe wanted to see. Now, the reason is very simple. We all started to use Facebook for a very simple reason. Okay, let me ask you, how many of you started to use Facebook so you could see ads and buy things? Of course, no one. Why are you on Facebook? We're all on Facebook so we could connect with our friends, so we could check some interesting stories, to see some interesting pictures, so we could hang out with people to discover things that are in our own interest. That's why we are on Facebook, on every social platform, but we're talking about Facebook since it's the biggest platform out there. So that is the reason we use Facebook. And ads, in that environment, ads are only a distraction. Ads are something that is distracting us from our initial goal, from what we really want to do on Facebook. And actually, they're not doing us any good. And if you jump into that situation, if you jump into someone else's world and try to immediately sell them something, you're going to feel a strong resistance. People will not respond to that because you are impostering their own private space, their own closed world that they created, and you'll not see that many sales. Of course, you will see some sales, because in every market, no matter what you sell and who are you trying to reach, you have several different types of people. You have impulse buyers. You have that small part of the market, maybe 1 to 3% of the market, who are ready to buy immediately. They just want to see the good offer, and they will buy when they see your ad. You have approximately, let's say 20% of the market that will never buy from you, and you have approximately 70% of the people who might be your customers, who might buy from you, but they're just not ready to buy right now because they're not in the right buyer moment. They're not into the right mindset for buying, because buying is a process. Buying is not some event that occurs. You don't wake up someday, oh, I'm going to buy this. No, buying is a process. No matter what you buy, whether you buy a new TV, cell phone, a house, no matter what, the process is the same. First thing you actually do when you go to buy something, you first become aware of the problem or the desire that you need to solve or satisfy. Let's say you're buying a TV. That's simple example. So your old TV is broken, or you have an old TV and you need to buy a new one. Now you are aware of the need or problem that you have. What's the first thing you do? You go out to see what else there's on the market. You want to see what some good manufacturers, what some good brands. You want to see whether you should buy an HD TV, 4K, LED screen, LCD. You want to see what's the best thing for you. You start to explore all those different options. When you do that, when you collect all these informations and all these data, you start to evaluate those informations, to process these informations in your head, and you make let's say, some short list of the brands. You already know something that you that you want to buy, you know what you're looking for, and now you're doing more research. Now, for example, you know you're going to buy a LED screen in full HD, for example, and you start looking for exact same products in that category. So you do now more research. You maybe ask your friends about it. You read some reviews online. So you collect data from various places. Once you again evaluate those info, then you make the buying decision. You buy the actual product, and then there's something that's called a buyer's remorse period, where you actually evaluate your buying decision and trying to see if you made the right decision for yourself. So no matter what you buy, if you buy TV, for example, this process can take, I don't know, a few days. If you buy a house, this process can take a few months, but the process is the same. Now, why is this important for you? As I said in the beginning, if you try to sell immediately from the Facebook ad, you're going to appeal only to this small part of the small market, small part of the people who are already know what they're looking for, who are already interested in that type of product and who already want to buy and just wait the right deal. But you're missing out the enormous amount of people who need more information, who are in the phase of collecting information. That's why the most important thing you should do is, first, on Facebook, is to provide value to people. That's the first and most important thing you can do. You must give before you ask something from them. So, for example, let's use this same example. Let's say you're selling some tech equipment and you want to sell, for example, TV. People are in different stages. So, for example, instead of just advertising your particular product to people, you can, for example, advertise let's say, checklist of how to choose the perfect TV, your next TV for, let's say, for home cinema, for example. And you make a guide, some guide that people can download. Even I talked about email. That's great way to collect leads, to give them something in return for their email address. That can be some spec sheet or some educational content that can teach them something useful, and you lead them to a funnel where you can later, as Ivana explained it a moment ago, you can take them through email sequence and actually sell them your stuff. But the first important step is to send them to a page, to send them to a particular content that can teach them something useful. They can move them one step closer to what their goal is, to move them one step closer to their buying decision. So before you even try to sell something, you need to educate them, you need to provide them info, because when you do that, you're not just a company that wants to take their money, you're someone who wants to help them, who wants them to make good decisions, to save money, to make more money. You want to help them, because when you do that, they look you with completely different set of eyes. They look you as an authority. They look you as some who wants to help them. They look you as a valuable resource and as a friend. And as you probably already know, people buy from people who they know, like, and trust. When you help them, and you help them long enough, and you make some good communication with them through social media, through email, they are going eventually to know, like, and trust you. So that's the first thing you need to do. You need to know what buyer stages are your customers in. You need to know how you can help them, and you need to provide great value to them. To do that, you need to know your customers. That's the first step of every marketing, and even when you run Facebook ads, you need to know your customers. And by that, I don't mean just knowing they are male or female, or they are in between ages 30 to 50. That's demographics. You need to know that, of course, and you're going to learn about them eventually through data, through exploration, or other ways. But you also need to know you need to know psychographics of your market. You need to know what their fears are. You need to know what desires are, what their goals are. You need to know a lot. You need to learn about them. What makes them a real person? Why do they want what you sell? What's that thing going to do for them or help them do? When you know all these things, you can create better messaging for your ads. You can create better message ads. You can create better content pieces. You can create better lead magnets. You want to talk about lead magnets, and you can take people through a complete sequence of communication, of emails, of posts, of social media posts, blog posts, and you can target them at each segment of their buying process. You can, for each type of people, for each segment they're in of buying, you can target them with specific pieces of content, and you can actually attract more people into your funnel. So the technicalities itself are not that important. You can go to YouTube and you can type how to set up a Facebook ad, and you're going to get 1,000 tutorials on how to technically do that. That's not a problem. This is the most important thing. So instead of trying to sell your product directly to people on Facebook, you should lead them into what is called a sales funnel. A sales funnel is a step of processes that you take people through to take them from people who don't know who you are to people who are ready to buy, and they're ready to buy from you. So the first step is, of course, the ad. How many of you tried to run Facebook ads before? Okay, not that much. Okay, I expected to be a lot more people. But nevertheless, you at least heard what capabilities Facebook Ads Manager offers you. You can target them by gender, you can target them by age, education, relationship status, you can target them by a specific interest, you can target people who like, tennis and like Amazon.com at the same time, for example, and you can target your ads specifically to those people. So there are a bunch of options you can do on Facebook that you can target the right people. You can also take your list of customers and you can run your ads only to them. Or you can take your list of customers and create something that is called a lookalike audience. That is the group of people that is the most similar to the people you have on your list. Actually, Facebook compiles that list for you. And you can run your own ads to these people, which is the highest and the most engaging segment of people. But again, you can, but you shouldn't run directly your products to them. Again, as I said, there are a very small segment of people that will buy. Instead, take them to some piece of content that is valuable, that is going to teach them something that's going to be appealing to them at the exact moment where they need it, and it's going to take them one step closer to you as their buying decision. Now, first you can take them, for example, to a blog post. Let's say again, okay, let's use the same example. Let's say you sell TVs, for example. You have an e-shop that sells TVs, and you have a group of people who just need new TV. You can run people, take them from a Facebook ad to a blog post that, for example, lists 10 best TVs for their family, for example, and you can list those brands to see what they can to see different options that they can choose from. Then, as the next step, you can take them, for example, to a segment on your email list. They need to leave their email address to access more specific content that says, for example, what to look for when you buy a new TV for your home, for example, and they need to leave their email address. Those who leave their email address are actually now ready to take the next step. They are already committed themselves to take the next step. They've shown an interest in actually buying a new TV because they want to learn more. Now what you do, you need to educate them more. Then, for example, for the next stage where they are looking for specific type of brands or types of TVs, you can offer them, for example, a guide on how to read spec sheets. When they look at all these technical terms of TVs, what do they mean? What does 4K mean? What does for example, LED TV means regarding or OLED means. You need to you can teach them what that means so they can make a better buying decision. When you take them through that process, you can simply the last email or the last post, you can simply call them, okay, come to visit our online store. If you buy in the next 24 hours, you have 10% off, for example. And with that content, you can take people from completely unaware of your company, of your solution, and take them to a place where they are most engaged, they are ready to buy, and you can make them buy immediately. So you take them through a sales funnel by first giving them valuable information and not taking them directly to buy. That's something that most people are making mistakes. Even big companies make these mistakes because they think, we're well known, we can run our ads and people are going to buy. No, they won't. Just look, for example, what Apple does. Up until the moment they do their conference and they reveal their new iPhone on stage, there's a complete set of steps they take to get you interested in what they have to sell. Up until that moment, they are preparing you for that big reveal, and the day when it comes to reveal the actual iPhone or some new product, you already know you want to buy it. You're already ready to buy it. Of course, Apple is a great company and they do it amazingly. But that same process can be done for any type of local business or online business. It doesn't matter what type of business you are. You can do the exact same process. For example, let's say that you're a wedding planner and you want to help people to organize their weddings. So you can get people are for that particular situation, people are in different buying segments. So there are people who already prepared everything and they just need someone to help them to organize and plan the entire wedding. But there are also a group of people who are just engaged, who haven't even started looking for a place for a wedding. You can reach out to them and teach them and show them how to choose the best place for their wedding, or show them the best songs for their first dance, or show them how to pick the perfect wedding dress, how to pick the perfect caterer, or bunch of different things that are important for that moment. You can teach them different things and run them from a Facebook ad. You can target people who are just engaged, for example. Facebook gives you that option, and you can take them with specific content to reach them at specific stages, educate them first, and then when there's that moment when they need to decide, who's going to help them to organize or that, you are already the logical solution because you already help them achieve certain things. So this is, again, I'm going to again say this because it's very, very important. Do not try to sell your product first to people. There's a whole bunch of people, the largest segment of your market that need to be educated first, that you need to educate first with content, with valuable, good, and engaging content, so you could later try to sell them your services. Everything else is just waste of time. You can't use, for example, that's the thinking from the old advertising age from TV. You put big money into TV ads. People see the ads and they go buy a product. That doesn't happen this way. Again, Facebook. On Facebook, you create your own mini world. You create your own space where you set your own rules and you pick topics that you're interested in. For example, I know a guy who is interested in fishing and who created his Facebook account only so he could follow some fishing pages. He has 10 friends on his profile. He doesn't do anything with it. He just follows a bunch of fishing pages so he can be, so he can be current with the most important news and tools, etc. So if you run an ad, for example, for that guy, on something else, you're impostering his world where he has his own set of rules. But if you offer him something of value, if you show him, for example, the best places where he can catch the specific types of fish that he might be interested, he's going to want to know that because he's already there on Facebook to do that, to learn that, to see that. So when you do that, you're already coming into conversation that is already happening into his head. So you're not starting some new conversation, but you're welcoming into conversation that is already happening into his head. He's more open to consume that type of content. He's more open for click. So therefore, the click-through rate on your ads is going to be a lot higher. And of course, the cost per click is going to be significantly lower, which will eventually lead to a lower cost per acquisition of a customer. So now your campaigns can be a lot more profitable. From that ad, you can take them to a content, you can take them to a lead magnet, and the most importantly, after that, you're taking them to an email sequence. So email is the most important part of the Facebook profit funnel. Even I already told you about email. I'm sorry that these sessions are so short. You can't actually cover everything that is important about these topics. But email is something you need to use, and email lists are something you need to build. Now, I wanted to talk more about email, but since Ivan already took the topic, Dragana told me to talk about social media. Now, this is very important. When you build your business on Facebook, for example, it can be very dangerous. You know, Facebook can ban your page. Facebook can close your page for some obscure reasons. Facebook can close your ad account. Facebook can do whatever he wants because it's their platform. When you build an email list and you run people from your Facebook ads first to your website, to your page on your website that can collect the emails, that list no one can take you. For example, even I showed you Mail Plus. You can use Mail Plus, for example. A company can go down in a few years. Nobody knows that. But that list is yours. You just download your list, you upload it to another service. That service go down, doesn't matter. You have a list, you can upload that list to another service, and you can keep using it. Again, you can use that list to run ads specifically to them. Email list is your asset, is your most valuable business asset, especially the list of your customers. No one can take you that. That is the vital part of Facebook advertising. I've done a lot of Facebook advertising in the last few months, and the biggest result that I've seen is from actually the customer list. The customer list is the most engaging list you can have. Of course, these are people who already bought from you, who know you, who trust you, and who likes you. So this is the most engaging list. The second most engaging list are the people who you've taken through that funnel. So people who you've taken to, for example, a blog post. Here's a specific example, actually. I run an ad for a Founder magazine. I don't know if anyone heard from them. They're from Australia. And they wanted to sell their course on Instagram marketing through webinar. The first thing we tested was run ads directly to webinar registration page where they're going to sell their product. And it did okay. Not so great, but not that bad either. Then we did something else. They already have a good blog post on how to get new followers on Instagram. So we put the Facebook pixel on their website. We generated a custom audience of people who visited that specific page. And we ran a webinar registration ad only to people who read that specific piece of content. The results were amazing. The conversion rate was higher for registration. Cost per registrant was lower. Cost per attendee was lower. Cost per customer was significantly lower, which eventually meant their profit is much higher. So give value first, care about people, know about them as much as you can, know their hopes, fears, dreams, problems, challenges, everything you can know about them. From that, you're going to get ideas to actually write things in ads or to create content, drive traffic to that content, and then from those people who saw that piece of content, then you can try to sell them your things or to continue communication through email. Of course, the results will be amazing.
Thank you, Mladen.
Okay.
Do we have any questions? No, so
Then I would like to thank you.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
Nice.
he's much prettier.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Very
you very
inspiring
much.
talk.